Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to tell you guys what it's like to jump my horse. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Let's get into it.
Hello world, this is me. Life should be fun for everyone. Life is easy if you wear a smile. Just be yourself, don't ever change your style. You are you, I am me, we'll be free. Hello world, hello world, hello world.
So today I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about what it's like to jump and to ride my horse. In my previous video, I introduced you guys to my horses and told you a little bit about Flute and what she's like in general, and today I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about what she's like to jump, because I said in that video that Flute was trained in eventing before I got her, and we used to do a lot of jumping together, so I thought that would be a little bit fun to talk about today. We haven't done too much in the way of dressage, nothing that's too fancy, so I figured jumping would be a little bit more interesting for me to tell you guys. So obviously Flute and I are not perfect. I am not a coach. This is just what I have done with my horse and what we've done and what I've noticed about my horse and what coaches in the past have told me about my horse. So please, if you do want to jump, don't take any of this as advice. Please consult with a coach. In general, a lot of these clips are from a few years ago. I'll insert some clips from September last year, which are the most recent clips that I have of her jumping. It's not a very high jump, but you guys can kind of see the difference. Flute in the past has been a very, very headstrong jumper. She loves to jump. Well, she used to. She used to get this spark in her eye whenever she used to see jumps, and she used to rocket to them. So yeah, that was kind of what, it's kind of like sitting on a ticking time bomb when you're jumping Flute. When you head towards a jump, she really kicks her back end into gear and she very much propels you up from behind. The only problem is that then and you very much have to sit and hold her back, but you also have to be out of the saddle. She's the most unusual horse I have ever jumped, insofar as when I was learning how to jump, I was taught, so horses, I always used to ride school horses that would take absolutely leg it at jumps. So that I'm kind of used to, but I've never jumped a horse that will take out a stride. Flute is a very long horse. She has very big strides for her size. She's 15'3", just under 16 hands. She has very long strides for her size. So when she takes out a stride, it's massive. And I'd never ridden a horse that would absolutely leg it at these jumps but then take out a big stride. So that was a very interesting experience for me, as I got her when I was 15, so that was a very interesting experience for me. Obviously I wasn't that experienced, because I'm quite sure there are other horses out there that do that, but for me that was a new experience. Since Flute, I haven't really jumped any other horses, so you know. So that's kind of all I have to go on. But yeah, she likes to take strides out. She likes to long spot. She's got a lot of talent. She's very, very springy. She's very, very bouncy. She very much lifts up at the front, really engages her hind end and pushes up from behind. The only kind of thing that I always had to work on with her was then the stride she would take before the jump. She would drop onto her front legs on her forehand, and that was kind of something that I always had to improve, because in that stride she puts all of her weight on her forehand instead of keeping her hind end fully engaged, and it's simply because she's jumping the jump bigger and she's just putting too much effort in. Flute has very little respect for low jumps, and she's definitely more respectful of jumps when they're bigger. But yeah, so she loves spreads. That's more of her forte, I guess you could say. She'll do uprights, but she loves spreads. She'll jump an upright like it's a spread, which is absolutely hilarious. The highest I've ever jumped on her, I think, was an 80 by 80. I have never really jumped much bigger than that, and if I have, it's never been measured. But yeah, that's my baby. That's kind of like what she's like to jump. She's very sensitive in the mouth, but you have to be quite strong, because like I said, she's very headstrong, and it's very much, you kind of have to be out of the saddle, because you never know. She doesn't really give you any signs for when she's gonna long spot. You just kind of have to sit in 2-point seat and hope she doesn't, and then set her up for it. The way I've taught her to jump, and obviously this was the way that they were trained, I'm not sure, you know, again, this is just the way I've done it. Obviously, you know, I don't know if it's right or if it's wrong, but I like it when a horse, particularly since she is an eventing horse, a horse that thinks for itself, knows where its legs are, knows how to see a distance. So Flute, I kind of just point, particularly in cross country, it's very much I point her at the jump, I set her up, I get the canter I want, I get all that we need to jump the jump, I set her up for a good stride, but then she's the one who has to get over the jump, and she can see a stride herself. She knows how to shorten and lengthen her strides herself so that she can get over the jump. So she's very good at helping me out. Particularly, I think I definitely stride her a lot more and have a lot more to say when we do show jumping, just simply because obviously striding becomes very different, especially when you've got combinations and stuff like that. In show jumping, you know, you need to hit them, and since she does like taking strides out, that's where things can become interesting. And I'll insert a clip of, it wasn't a high jump at all, they were more just kind of schooling jumps, but yeah, I'll show you what she did. She took out 2 strides on a 1 stride related combination, and we didn't even have the 3rd jump set up, so I'll insert that now so you guys can kind of see what she does. But yeah, she's a lot of fun, and once you figure her out, she's really a lot of fun, and she's very clean. She quite often over jumps, so you never really have to worry about knocking any poles. Again, I've never competed her, I've never competed period. I've done mock competitions and in-house competitions at riding schools and stuff like that on school horses and on Flute, but I've never done any official competitions or affiliated competitions or anything like that on any circuit. Anyway, so we used to do some practice jump tests and stuff, show jumping courses and stuff like that, and she was always very neat. She never really knocked a pole. If she did, it was because I did something wrong. But what she likes to do, this gives me a heart attack. I'll insert a photo and a clip after I explain it to you guys. But she, in cross country jumps, particularly ones that have like a wooden plank on top, or like have a bit of wood on top, or is like solid jumps, she likes to knock her hooves on them. Yep. I don't know why. She doesn't touch show jumping rails. She doesn't like touching show jumping rails. I think she likes the sound. She might like the feel of it, but whenever I did cross country, that was always something that I had to kind of get her into gear over. But yeah, I don't know. Pet peeve of mine, but oh well, I don't really do cross country anymore or jumping anymore in general, so it's not really an issue for me anymore, but it used to confuse me when I was 17 and we'd do that, and it's a little bit concerning because they weren't small jumps either. Like, well, they were, but like I said in the last video, I think I touched on a little bit in the last video, but Flute used to love jumping. It used to be her obsession. She used to, in dressage, flat work training, she used to be very, I know what I'm doing, Mum, I've got this, but then in jumping, she'd listen to me a lot more, and she'd come alive when we did jumping. That's kind of not really the case anymore. I'm not sure if she's just matured or what, but she's definitely kind of had a bit of an attitude change towards it. She's still quite a very good jumper. She can still see her line and distances and everything like that. Jumping and show jumping and cross country used to be her favorite thing. Like I said, she's, over the last couple of years and my experience with bringing her back into work last year, she's definitely enjoyed the dressage training, the flat work a lot more, which is good for me because I'm a dressage rider. I'm not really an eventer. I've switched from eventing and show jumping to dressage, so kind of glad that she's not really that into jumping anymore because that makes my life easier. But I'm very excited to see what happens. I probably will do some more jumping with her over the next few years, just simply because it's good to, I think it's good to have some variety for the horses in their training. You know, she's very much the horse version of me and sometimes can get very in her head, so I think every now and then just to get some variety, some difference in our training and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just kind of a little bit about Flutey. I'll put a little montage in here now so you guys can kind of see a little bit more about what we've done. That's what it's like to jump Flutey. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!